Oil is the flavor switch you reach for every day. In this quick guide, you'll learn which fats stand up to heat, which are best for raw dressings, and how to keep them fresh so every bite tastes right. Smoke point is the temp where oil starts to smoke and break down, which can make food taste bitter. Oxidation is a slow process where air and light age oil, dulling flavor and aroma. The goal is to pick the right oil for the heat you're using and the kind of dish you're making. Without demonizing fats, they just behave differently. For heat, think in stages. High heat for frying or searing needs oils that stay stable when they sizzle. Medium heat for sautéing wants a balance of flavor and tolerance to warmth. Cold uses are for dressings and drizzles, where raw flavor shines. Visual cues help too. A small splash, about 1 teaspoon, for dressings, a glossy coating of 1–2 tablespoons for a pan, and 2–3 tablespoons when you're really frying or roasting. Storage and shelf life matter. Keep oils in a cool, dark cabinet with the cap tight. Strong-flavored or nut oils, like walnut or sesame, are best used sooner and can benefit from refrigeration after opening. Flaxseed oil and other delicate oils should be kept cold and used quickly. Common oils at a glance. Extra virgin olive oil, great for salads and finishing. Smoke point about 375 to 410 degrees Fahrenheit, full flavor. Refined olive oil, light higher heat tolerance, milder taste, around 465 degrees Fahrenheit. Avocado oil, very high smoke point, about 520 degrees Fahrenheit, all-purpose and neutral enough for high heat frying. Peanut oil, good for frying, around 450 degrees Fahrenheit, light, nutty note. Canola, rapeseed, oil, neutral flavor, good for sautéing, about 400 to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Grapeseed oil, light, clean taste, decent for medium heat, tilde 420 degree F. Coconut oil, solid at room temp, distinct flavor, best for baking or light frying, tilde 350 degree F. Sesame oil, toasted strong flavor, best as a finishing touch or small amount in stir-fries, not for high heat. Flaxseed oil, delicate and nutty, great in dressings, never heat, refrigerate after opening. Easy matrix to guide your choices. High heat frying or searing. Oils, avocado oil, peanut oil, refined sunflower or grapeseed.
Smoke point, 520 degrés Fahrenheit, 450 degrés Fahrenheit, 450 degrés F.
Medium heat sautéing. Oils, canola, light olive oil, grapeseed. Smoke points, tilde 400–450 degree F. Cold uses are dressings, finishing. Oils, extra virgin olive oil, walnut oil, sesame oil, not heated, flaxseed oil. Notes, best for taste over heat, refrigerate delicate oils, use small amount for best flavor. With the right oil in your toolkit, you'll fry crisper, sauté smoother, and dress salads with real character. Give yourself a quick memory. Keep a high heat oil, a neutral oil, and a flavorful finishing oil within arm's reach, and you're ready to cook anything that comes up. Smoke points and heat tolerance. Butter, ghee, olive, avocado, coconut, refined. Understanding smoke points helps you pick the right fat for frying and cooking. Smoke point is the temperature where fat starts to break down and smoke, which can cause bitter flavors and degrade nutrients. Butter has a low smoke point because milk solids burn easily, so it's best for gentle sautéing or finishing dishes. Clarified butter, or ghee, removes those solids and raises the smoke point to about 250 degrees Celsius, letting you fry with more heat and less risk of burning. In practice, butter is flavorful but limited in heat. Ghee acts more like a high heat option with dairy notes. Olive oil comes in 2 main forms. Extra virgin olive oil smokes around 190 to 210 degrees Celsius, depending on quality, and carries a distinct, fruity flavor that feels right in medium heat and in dressings. Refined olive oil has a higher smoke point, roughly 210 to 230 degrees Celsius, with a milder taste. For high heat frying, use the refined version or blend EVOO with a neutral oil to keep flavor but stay safe at higher temperatures. Oxidation can creep in when oil heats and sits, so store olive oil in a dark bottle, away from heat and air, and avoid reusing oil many times. Avocado oil is known for its high heat tolerance. Unrefined, virgin, avocado oil has a smoke point near 270 degrees Celsius, making it great for searing and pan frying, with a light, subtle avocado note. Refined avocado oil reaches around 270 to 300 degrees Celsius and is very neutral in taste, which makes it versatile for high heat cooking. Both varieties resist oxidation better than many other oils when stored cool and dark. As with others, keep the bottle sealed and cool. Opened bottles are best used within a few months for peak flavor. Coconut oil behaves differently because of its saturated fat. Virgin coconut oil has a distinct coconut flavor and a lower smoke point around 177 degrees Celsius, so it's nice for low to medium heat cooking and baking rather than high heat. Refined coconut oil has a higher smoke point around 230 degrees Celsius, allowing light frying and baking with less coconut flavor. Because saturated fats are relatively stable, these oils store well, but heat, light, and air do age the oil. Store coconut oil in a cool, dark place with the cap on. It can stay solid or liquid depending on temperature, and open bottles generally stay fresh for several months if kept capped. Practical guidance for use. For high heat frying or searing, choose refined olive oil, avocado oil, refined coconut oil, or ghee if you want a dairy note. For medium heat, go with extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, or butter blended with a splash of oil to raise the smoke point a bit. For low heat or finishing touches, regular butter adds flavor, while olive oil works well in sautéed dishes that don't need sizzling. Salads benefit from olive oil as a base, but you can also use light avocado oil to avoid strong flavors. In dressings, cold use is preferred, so choose the oil you enjoy raw. Portion visuals. A shallow pan often uses 1–2 tablespoons of oil for a quick sauté. For searing, you want a thin film that coats the pan, not a pool. For dressings, a drizzle of 1–2 teaspoons per serving is enough to carry flavor without heaviness. If you're frying something small, you might start with 1 tablespoon and add a little more as the pan heats. Use more oil only when the food requires it to prevent sticking and to ensure even browning. Storage and shelf life tips. Keep oils in a cool, dark place and use a tight cap to limit exposure to air. Light and heat speed oxidation, which can make flavors go flat or stale. Extra virgin olive oil is best used within a few months of opening for flavor. Avocado and coconut oils often last longer if kept sealed and away from heat, though refined varieties tend to be more stable. If you're not cooking often, smaller bottles can help you use the oil before it starts to lose brightness. Always smell and taste a drop after opening to confirm it's still fresh before using in dressings or finishing oils. Easy matrix summary. Butter, low heat, about 150 degrees Celsius. Good for flavor, not for high heat. Best used in small amounts or melted as a finishing touch. Ghee, clarified butter high heat capability, around 250 degrees Celsius. Works for most frying tasks with a dairy note. Extra virgin olive oil, medium heat, about 190 to 210 degrees Celsius. Great in sautés and dressings. Strong flavor. Refined olive oil, higher heat tolerance, about 210 to 230 degrees Celsius. Good for higher heat cooking with milder taste. Virgin avocado oil, high heat capability, around 250 to 270 degrees Celsius. Versatile, mild flavor. Refined avocado oil, very high heat, around 270 to 300 degrees Celsius. Excellent for searing and frying with near-neutral taste. Virgin coconut oil, low to medium heat, about 177 degrees Celsius. Distinct coconut flavor, not ideal for high heat. Refined coconut oil, higher heat, about 230 degrees Celsius. Less coconut flavor, better for frying and baking without strong notes. If you want, first can tailor this into a quick cheat sheet for your pantry with a simple color-coded flashcard style. *** support pollinations.ai ***.
Fiore di ciliegio *** anno domini *** fiore di ciliegio.
Powered by pollinations.ai free text APIS. Support our mission. https://pollinations.ai/redirect/Ko-fi to keep AI accessible for everyone. Omega-3 6 balance. Which oils should you eat more often, and which should you cut back on? Omega-3 and omega-6 fats are essential for the heart and brain, but the balance between them matters. Flaxseed oil, walnut oil, and canola oil carry more omega-3s in the form of ALA. Oils like safflower, sunflower, corn, and soybean carry more omega-6 linoleic acid. In many diets, the omega-6 level is higher than omega-3, and that gap can matter for inflammation if omega-3 is scarce. Oils also differ in how stable they are when heated and how fast they spoil once exposed to light and air. Smoke points tell you how hot an oil can get before it starts to break down and smoke. Flaxseed oil has a very low smoke point, so it's best kept cold and used in dressings. Walnut oil is similarly delicate and shines when drizzled on foods rather than heated. Extra virgin olive oil adds flavor and a modest amount of omega-3, but it isn't the best choice for high-heat frying. Refined oils usually handle higher heat, which is why they're common in pan frying and sautéing. Oxidation happens when oil meets heat, light, or air, and oxidized oil can taste and smell sharp while losing some nutrients. To boost omega-3 intake, use flaxseed oil in salad dressings, walnut oil as a finishing touch, and canola oil for moderate heat cooking. For high heat cooking, choose oils with higher smoke points like refined avocado oil or high oleic sunflower or safflower oils. Olive oil works well for flavor in salads and light sautéing, while dressings can benefit from a splash of flaxseed or walnut oil added after cooking. When dressing a salad, a simple mix can be 1–2 tablespoons of olive oil with a splash of lemon or vinegar, and a teaspoon of flaxseed oil for extra omega-3 without heating it. Storage matters. Keep flaxseed and walnut oils in the fridge after opening and finish them within a couple of months. Olive oil keeps in a cool, dark place for several months. Refined oils store well in a cool, dark area too and last longer. Matrix summary. Quick guide you can skim. Best for salads and cold uses. Extra virgin olive oil, walnut oil, flaxseed oil, cold use only, canola oil. Best for frying or high heat. Refined avocado oil, high oleic sunflower oil, refined safflower oil, refined canola or corn oil. Focus on omega-3, flaxseed oil, walnut oil, canola oil, chia oil for cold uses. Oils to balance or use less often for omega-6, safflower, sunflower, corn, soybean oils. Storage tips. Keep in dark, cool places. Refrigerate flaxseed and walnut oils after opening. Use within a few months. Check for rancid smells before using. For salads versus for frying. A simple choice matrix. Oil choices hinge on heat and flavor. Smoke points are the temperature at which oil starts to smolder and give off smoke. When an oil reaches that point, its flavor can change and its fats can break down. Oxidation happens when oil meets air and heat, which can dull taste and reduce freshness. Oils vary a lot in these traits, so a simple rule helps. Pick oils for dressings and cold uses, and pick oils with higher heat tolerance for frying. For salads, you want oils that stay lively and fresh at room temperature. Extra virgin olive oil adds fruitiness and peppery notes to dressings, and it pairs well with greens, tomatoes, and bread. Avocado oil is mild with a creamy edge and holds up a bit better if you ever warm a dressing slightly. Nut oils like walnut or hazelnut bring character to winter salads, but they're best used in cold dressings or finishes to keep their aroma intact. For a typical salad, a drizzle of about 1 tablespoon on a small bowl or 2 tablespoons on a large bowl feels balanced. If you scoop a little more, the oil can dominate the other flavors. A very light drizzle can add shine without heaviness, and a thicker splash can carry richer ingredients like roasted vegetables or cheese. For frying and other high heat tasks, choose oils with higher smoke points and less impact on flavor. Refined peanut, canola, sunflower, and grapeseed oils are common workhorses because they tolerate hotter temps without smoking early. Refined avocado oil is another strong option, offering a high heat ceiling and a mild taste. When you fry, use enough oil to cover the food halfway in a shallow pan or enough depth in a pot to keep the temperature steady. A typical shallow fry uses a couple of cups of oil in a wide pan. A deeper fry needs more space but still leaves room for safe bubbling. Neutral flavors help the food stay the star rather than the oil, which is handy when you're frying things with delicate coatings or spices. Storage and shelf life matter too. Keep oils in a cool, dark place, away from direct light and heat. Tighten caps after use and store away from the stove where heat can creep in. Unopened bottles keep longer than opened ones, and flaxseed oil should be kept chilled to slow oxidation. Use oils within a reasonable window for best flavor, especially if you rely on them for dressings. If you notice a sour or bitter scent, it's a sign to replace. Small amounts go a long way for both salads and frying. The right amount makes flavors pop without waste. For salads versus for frying, a simple choice matrix. Extra virgin olive oil, best for dressings, enhances greens with bright, fruity notes, not ideal for very hot frying. Avocado oil, good for salads and gentle warmth. High heat friendly, neutral enough to let other flavors shine. Walnut or hazelnut oil, great for cold dressings and finishes. Add complexity, watch for heat sensitivity. Canola or grapeseed oil, neutral fats that work well when you fry, easy on flavors, stable at medium to high heat. Peanut oil, Solid for frying with a mild nutty note. Flavor stays subtle in hot pan work. Sunflower oil, versatile, light in dressings or frying. Choose refined for high heat. Coconut oil, distinct flavor. Refined version handles higher heat. Unrefined is more limited for frying. Sesame oil, toasted strong aroma. Use sparingly in salads to add depth, not for high heat frying. A simple decision guide in practice. If you want a bright salad finish with a clean mouthfeel, choose extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. If you're aiming for a warm dressing or a lightly warmed salad, test avocado oil or a lighter olive oil blend. If you're frying at higher temps for a crispy crust, reach for refined peanut, canola, sunflower, or grapeseed oil. If you're pairing with nuts or seeds and want a punchy aroma, a touch of walnut or sesame oil can shine when added at the end. If you're making a dish with delicate greens and you want a subtle flavor, a small drizzle of a neutral oil keeps the greens the focus. In the end, the choice comes down to heat tolerance, flavor intent, and how you plan to serve the dish. The right oil lets the salad sing or the fry come out crisp and clean. A practical approach keeps both users within reach and avoids waste. How much oil is needed to make it healthy and not a calorie bomb? Oil carries about 120 calories per tablespoon, so a little goes a long way when you want flavor without piling on calories. A light coating is often enough. For a quick sauté for 2 to 3 servings, 1 to 2 tablespoons totals are typical. If you deep fry, you'll naturally use more, but that's when the oil becomes a bigger factor in calories. Treat oil as a seasoning that adds taste and texture, not as the main ingredient. Smoke points are the key to choosing the right oil for the job. The smoke point is the temperature where oil begins to smoke and break down. When oil goes past that point, it can taste burnt and may develop compounds you'd rather avoid. Oxidation happens faster if oil is heated too long or exposed to light and air, especially with oils high in polyunsaturated fats. For high heat cooking like searing or stir frying, pick oils with higher smoke points. For gentler tasks like dressings or finishing, milder oils are perfectly fine. Keep oils away from heat sources and sunlight to slow oxidation. When it comes to salads, you want oils that feel light and fresh. Extra virgin olive oil is a classic for dressings because of its aroma and flavor, but it's also reasonably stable at room temperature. Avocado oil works well too, with a neutral to slightly buttery note and a higher heat tolerance if you want to warm a component of a salad. For a crisp, clean dressing, a light olive oil or canola oil can blend smoothly into mixtures. For sautéing vegetables that will later join a salad, canola, grapeseed, or refined olive oil are good choices, as they tolerate moderate heat without imparting too much flavor. Portion visuals can help you stay on track. A tablespoon is roughly the size of a standard kitchen spoon and coats a pan nicely with a thin layer. A teaspoon is about 1/3 of a tablespoon and is enough to add a touch of flavor to a dish. For dressings, start with 1 tablespoon of oil per 4 servings and adjust to taste. If you're making a vinaigrette, a ratio of 1 part vinegar to 2 or 3 parts oil is a safe baseline, and you can tweak the oil amount for your appetite and goals. If you're adding oil to a hot pan, drizzle in thinly and swirl to coat the surface rather than dumping in a pool. Storage and shelf life tips help you keep flavor without losing quality. Store most oils in a cool, dark place away from the stove. Use a tightly closed container to minimize exposure to air. Some oils benefit from refrigeration after opening. Note that refrigeration can cause some oils to become cloudy or solidify, but that doesn't mean they are bad. If an oil smells off or tastes rancid, it's time to replace it. For long-term use, buy smaller bottles more often or choose oils that suit your cooking style to reduce waste. Matrix summary, easy reference. Fine for dressings and finishing. Extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, light olive oil, walnut oil. Good for medium heat sauté and pan frying. Canola oil, grapeseed oil, light olive oil. Best for high heat and frying. Refined avocado oil, refined peanut oil, refined sunflower, or high oleic oils. Flavor impact. EVOO adds fruitiness. Avocado oil adds creaminess. Peanut oil brings a nutty note. Grapeseed oil is neutral. Smoke point guidance. Lower for virgin olive oil. Higher for refined or avocado oils. Highest for refined peanut or grapeseed oils. Calorie awareness. About 1 tablespoon adds roughly 120 calories. Use sparingly to avoid calorie overload. Practical habit. Coat the pan lightly, season with a small amount, and use oil as a flavoring rather than a bulk ingredient. Bottom line. Whenever you fry or sauté, use the least amount needed to achieve the effect you want, and choose an oil whose smoke point matches the heat level. For salads, raw or gently warmed oils work best and help keep the calories in check while still delivering flavor. How to store to prevent rancidity and harmful compounds. Fats and oils spoil when light, heat, and air mingle, and that breakdown is what we call rancidity. It can give a sour, off smell and taste, and it can also create compounds some people want to limit. Light is a bigger factor than many realize, so keep bottles away from sunny windows. Heat from stoves or ovens speeds up the process, and air exposure through open caps or pouring can ruin freshness quickly. A tight cap and a cool, dark spot slow things down. A cupboard is fine for most oils, and people often store delicate oils in a small, dark bottle on the counter for convenience. But if your kitchen is warm or sunny, think about a cupboard in a cooler corner or a pantry with minimal light. Smoke points are the temperatures at which oil starts to break down and produce visible smoke. Higher smoke points mean the oil stays stable longer at higher heat. This matters because you want flavors and nutrients intact, not burnt aromas. For salads and dressings that stay raw, choose oils that taste good raw and resist quick oxidation, like extra virgin olive oil or a light nut oil. For frying or high heat cooking, pick oils with higher smoke points such as refined peanut oil, avocado oil, or high oleic sunflower oil. If you see smoke or a sharp acrid smell, that oil has started to degrade and should be discarded or used only for low heat tasks. Storage and shelf life depend on whether an oil is refined or unrefined, and on how it's kept after opening. Unopened bottles last longer, while opened bottles lose flavor and quality more quickly. Delicate oils such as flaxseed, walnut, or some fruity or seed oils may stay best within a few weeks after opening, whereas sturdier oils like refined peanut or avocado can last a few months when kept away from light and heat. Always seal the bottle tightly after use, and avoid dipping wet utensils into the oil. If an oil develops a sour or stale smell, or the color changes noticeably, it's safer to replace it. Refrigeration can slow oxidation for some oils, but it can also make clear liquids look cloudy or solidify fats that don't mind the chill. If you store olive oil in the fridge, bring it to room temperature before use to regain its aroma and pourability. Portion visuals help too. A common salad uses about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of oil. A larger family salad might use up to 3 tablespoons. For cooking, plan on about 1 to 2 tablespoons per pan and adjust depending on the recipe and the heat you're using. If you tend to cook a lot in bulk, label bottles with open dates and keep a well-used, shorter life oil separate from a longer life, steady oil. A practical habit is to keep the everyday oil in a small, handy bottle at room temperature and store the backup bottle in a cooler spot or the fridge if your climate is warm. When you compare common oil side by side, a simple guide helps. Extra virgin olive oil is great for dressings and finishing, with a moderate smoke point and a flavor that shines in cold uses. Refined olive oil has a higher smoke point and is better for hotter sautéing, while avocado oil brings an extremely high smoke point and is versatile for many types of cooking. Peanut oil is reliable for frying due to its high heat tolerance, and high oleic sunflower and canola oils offer neutral flavor and sturdy performance across medium heat tasks. Sesame oil, especially the toasted variety, adds aroma and depth but isn't the best choice for high heat. Use it to finish dishes. Coconut oil has a distinct flavor and a range of smoke points depending on whether it's virgin or refined. Use it where you want a touch of coconut along with stable fats. Easy matrix summary. High heat stable, avocado oil, refined peanut oil, high oleic sunflower oil, refined canola oil. Medium heat best, extra virgin olive oil, refined olive oil, light sesame oil. Cold use or finishing only, extra virgin olive oil, walnut oil, flaxseed oil, toasted sesame oil. Storage tip. Keep dark bottles sealed and cool. Refrigerate delicate oils after opening if you won't use them quickly. Shelf life. Open sturdy oils up to several months. Delicate oils a few weeks to a couple of months. Signs to discard. Sour smell, off taste, unusual color, or cloudiness that doesn't clear after warming. If you want a quick guide to pick from the pantry, think of it as a heat and taste map. For raw dressings and dips, choose the flavor you enjoy from a stable bottle kept cool and dark. For frying, reach for oils with higher smoke points. For finishing or drizzle, a fragrant oil adds personality without needing heat. Here's the wrap you can take straight to the kitchen. Think of smoke points as the oil's limit for heat. When an oil gets hot enough to start smoking, it breaks down and can taste burnt or woody. Oxidation is the aging process that happens when oil meets air, light, and heat. It helps to keep oils in a dark bottle, tightly sealed, and store them in a cool place so they stay fresh longer. High heat uses, frying, searing, You want oils that can take the heat. Avocado oil, peanut oil, and refined sunflower or canola oil are your go-to here. They won't brown as quickly into a bitter taste and hold up well when you're chasing a crisp surface. Medium heat or general cooking is where olive oil shines, especially for sautéing, plus grapeseed and canola oil as versatile stand-ins. They tolerate moderate heat and have a pleasant flavor without overpowering the dish. Cold juices and salads are where lighter flavors and nutrients matter most. Extra virgin olive oil is king for dressings and finishing drizzles. For variety, some folks like walnut oil or flaxseed oil on salads or with vegetables that don't get heated much, but keep in mind these don't stand up to high heat. Portion visuals you can picture. For a pan, you might start with about 1 tablespoon of oil to coat, then use 2 tablespoons or a little more for a shallow fry. For a salad, a light drizzle, roughly 1 to 2 teaspoons, can coat the greens nicely. For a dressing, aim for a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 oil to vinegar ratio and adjust to taste. No oil is bad, but storage matters. Keep oils in a dark bottle or cabinet away from light, tight lid on, in a cool spot. Some delicate oils, like flaxseed or walnut, benefit from refrigeration after opening and should be used relatively soon. Always check the smell and taste. If it tastes sour or rancid, it's time to replace it. Common oils at a glance. Avocado oil, very high heat, mild buttery flavor, great for frying and searing. Peanut oil, high heat, neutral flavor, excellent for deep frying. Refined sunflower canola, high heat, neutral taste, versatile for frying and frying-like tasks. Extra virgin olive oil, medium heat and dressings, adds flavor without much fuss. Grapeseed oil, medium-high heat, light flavor, handy for sautéing. Walnut oil and flaxseed oil, best for dressings and cold dishes, distinct nutty flavors. Coconut oil, good for medium-high heat with a coconut note. Use in moderation if you're watching saturated fat. Easy matrix you can keep in mind. High heat, avocado oil, peanut oil, refined sunflower or canola oil. Medium heat, olive oil, regular or light, grapeseed oil, canola oil. Cold dressings, extra virgin olive oil, walnut oil, flaxseed oil. Direct summary, pick high heat oils for frying and searing, medium heat oils for everyday cooking, and use delicate oils for dressings and finishing touches. Store wisely, watch the clock on shelf life, and don't be afraid to mix flavors to suit the dish. If you cooked along or found a favorite pairing, tell me in the comments. First, love hearing what works for your kitchen. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe for more practical tips on everyday cooking without the guesswork. First, I'm already planning the next video. How to whip up quick, tasty dressings and how to swap oils in common recipes to keep flavors bright. Stay tuned. We'll test a few simple vinaigrettes and a couple of oil swaps so you'll have a go-to plan for almost any salad.